Hello, my name's Cheryl Reynolds. I'm one of the tutors on the BA and I'm here to introduce the first task that you need to do for your preparation for your Reflexivity day school that's coming up shortly. And what we've done is to choose an article by Anne Cunliffe on becoming a critically reflexive practitioner. The reason we've chosen this one is that it's a development of a moving on from some of those other models of reflection that you're perhaps really familiar with already. So Kolb's reflective cycle, Gibbs, maybe Tripp's critical incidents would all be really familiar through things like teacher education programs and for educators working in areas where reflexive practice is something that's recommended. But we want to move on from those and focus in on what is meant by reflexivity in particular, and that's one of the reasons we've chosen this article. So your first task is to figure out what Anne Cunliffe means by reflexivity. What's her definition of it? It's a contested term and different people mean different things by it. What's Cunliffe's definition? Jot down what you think it is. And then having done that, think more broadly about what is she trying to argue in this article. If I had to explain this to someone else and say what her key points were, what would they be? And different people might draw out different key points. Mine might be slightly different from yours, and that's absolutely fine. For you, what does this article mean at this stage? Jot down your ideas. And then start to get into the detail a little bit more. So turn to page 408. To where Cunliffe is talking about existential, relational and praxis. What does she mean by those terms? They might not be familiar to you, you may have come across them before, maybe not. Start to write down what you think that means, and what you write down might be, I'm not really sure what she means by praxis. It could be this, it's maybe a bit like that, but I'm uncertain. It's fine to be tentative at this stage. You're just trying to record what your early responses to the article might be. And then have a look at page 415. What does she mean by, or what does her silent activity illustrate? So page 415, read about the silent activity. What does that illustrate? And finally, have a look at page 423, where Cunliffe starts to talk about the fact or the notion that reality can be understood as socially constructed. Again, that might be an unfamiliar idea. Isn't reality just reality? What does she mean by it's socially constructed or relational? So again, jot down your thoughts. And then having done all of that, having read the article and started to record what your initial responses to it might be, you'll be really well prepared for the next activity down, which is a video of some of the BA tutors talking about this same article and some of these same ideas. So you'll be well placed to think, could I have contributed to that conversation? What questions would I ask at that point? What's being said here? Do I agree with these things? And all of that is really useful preparatory work for thinking in detail about reflexivity and what we're kind of trying to get you to do as part of this final module for the BA.